So I thought I would find out a little bit about you guys, and I'm not sure if this is a question that was asked in the 20 questions. I can't remember. But I wanted to know what you guys are afraid of. You know, what are your phobias? Is there something that, you know, a fear that keeps you from doing things? You afraid of the dark? You know, what are you afraid of? I'm definitely afraid of spiders. As you've seen in my other video, I don't like bugs. They just kind of freak me out. But that's just kind of a girly fear. But I have 3 big fears that kind of make an impact on my life. I'm afraid of death is actually my biggest fear. And, you know, which was one of the things that I plan to do more research about in the Wiccan tradition and beliefs on how they look at death. And it's one of the next big things that I want to start reading once I finish, you know, my introductory Wicca 101 kind of books. Because, you know, it's something that I've had a problem with my whole life. And it's a shame because it'll keep me from doing things like going on roller coasters, going on amusement rides, you know, stuff like that, because I'm terrified that it's, you know, you're going to be on that roller coaster that the car, you know, veers off the track and you crash or something. You know, keeps me from doing stuff like that, or just doing like adventurous stuff. I wish I could skydive, but, you know, that goes with another fear of heights and a fear of flying. So skydiving would be the worst. But it's a terrible fear to have. And my mom is very religious. She's very into angels and stuff like that. And she's a nurse, so she's seen death. So, but she thinks death is a beautiful thing. She thinks that, you know, she's okay if she dies. You know, she gets to see her mother and her father and her grandparents. And she always says, well, you know, you'd go see Pop. Wouldn't you want to go see Pop? And I'm like, no, I rather live my life. I'll see him later. You know? So, that's a big thing. And, you know, I have a huge fear of heights. A huge fear. Like, I've been to Peru and to Machu Picchu, and you're on the side of a mountain. You look over and it's like this 1,000-foot drop. And I had to go, there was 2, not tracks, but trails. One for the chaperones that were a little older, that couldn't really handle the hike up to the top, and there's one for the students that went up higher. Well, I had to go with the old people because I was so scared of heights as it is that I was like scaling the side of the wall, like hugging it. You know, I can't even get on a ladder. I'm that scared. And I think I'm just scared that I'm gonna fall. I think you know, that's what is my problem. And my other one is my fear of flying, which actually has gotten worse as the years go on. I think when I was in 2nd grade, the TW Flight 800 crash happened about, I'm going to say a couple months before I went to Florida, on my first plane ride. And the problem is that my parents and the news, and I heard too much about this crash, and it got in my head as a kid. And so when I went on the plane, I was very scared, you know, that this was going to crash. So I didn't do too much flying as a kid. But when I was a freshman in high school, on my 2nd day of school, September 11th happened. And, you know, a huge part of that was plane crashes. Plane crashes, you know, into both towers, to the Pentagon, and into the one in Pennsylvania. And so, you know, my fear went from, you know, there's going to be a malfunction, it's going to crash, to I could be on a plane with a malfunction and crash, or somebody's going to crash it. And the feeling of that, it was just so much worse. Because it's like a lose-lose situation. You know, before I'd be like, oh, you know, this plane is brand new. You know, or, you know, something like that. I'd feel better about it. But then there's the other one where, you know, you don't know who's on the plane, you don't know what they want to do. And so it's bad, my fear of it. And recently you guys have all heard about the plane crashes that are going on right now. And that's, you know, it's all these little flights that are, you know, it's a half hour away. You know, these things happen, and it's scary. So when I flew to Peru, it was a long flight. I flew from BWI to Houston, so it was my school, from Houston to Lima, and that's 6 hours alone, and then Lima to Cusco. And I was scratching to get out. I was ready to freak out and have panic attacks. So that's my problem with flying, and you know, it's just a huge fear of mine, and all my fears go back to my fear of death. So, which it's probably really strange to you guys. I don't know too many people are afraid of death, but you know, I want to know your fears. That's enough about my rambling. But you know, are you afraid of common things? Are you afraid of things that, you know, are unheard of? You know, do you have fears that you had from as a kid, or, you know, stuff like that? So let me know. I really am really curious to hear what you guys have to say. All right, blessed be.